There's just so many things that are going for it, and real estate has been an industry that will always be around no matter what. And that deal almost fell apart completely.
And he had 21 properties, right?
Yeah.
So far.
Yeah, holding 21 properties right now.
हेलो एवरीवन, तो कैसे आप सब? आ गया मैं आज एक नई वीडियो के साथ। तो जैसे कि आप देख सकते हो, आज हमारे साथ एक और गेस्ट है एंड आई विल इंट्रोड्यूस हिम। तो ये वीडियो जो होने वाली है बहुत ज़्यादा इंपॉर्टेंट होने वाली है इफ़ यू आर इंटरेस्टेड इन इन्वेस्टमेंट्स एंड स्टफ। देखो यार, अगर आपको मतलब जॉब्स में इंटरेस्ट है, अच्छी बात है, बट हाउ यू कैन मेक सम एक्स्ट्रा मनी अपार्ट फ्रॉम योर जॉब्स एंड एवरीथिंग, राइट? सो ही is a real estate investor and he owns this property as well, right?
Yeah.
And he is Denzel. So Denzel, introduce yourself.
Yeah, so my name is Denzel. I'm from Winnipeg, Manitoba. I'm 25 years old and we are standing in one of my investment properties right now.
That's right. And he had 21 properties, right?
Yeah.
So far.
Yeah, holding 21 properties right now.
So first of all, how long did you take to get to 21 properties?
So I've been in the business since 2020, basically like the beginning of the pandemic. It took me about, well, how long has it been now? So
one and a half years?
Probably one and a half years, or maybe 2 years, 2 full years of just investing, and I'm now sitting with 21 properties.
Yeah, so मतलब 2 साल, like it took him 2 years to have 21 properties. मतलब मेरे को ऐसा है कि I am into real estate, right? I like real estate. तो मैंने कहा why not contact him on Instagram, and we just met on Instagram. I was like, okay, let's do a video, and he was so kind. He was like, okay, let's do a video. So that's why we are here. And अब मैं आपको बताऊंगा कि how he started his journey. So we'll be talking about your journey and how people who just graduate from school, like you after school did some job and then you got into real estate, how it all happened. So हम उसके बारे में सारी बात करने वाले हैं. So Denzel, show us who you were like 3 years or 4 years or 5 years before.
Yeah, so basically I was studying for kinesiology and I had goals to become a physiotherapist because in high school, I basically played every single sport that you can think of. And I was very much identifying with being an athlete. And so after high school, I went to University of Winnipeg. I got a scholarship to play basketball for the university. It was like 4 years into my schooling where I was kind of like in a space where, at least in my mind, where I wanted to see if I could make a living playing basketball. And it wasn't possible. Like I started to look at what some of these pro athletes were getting paid. Like basically if you weren't in the NBA or if you weren't in like some super league or something like that, like the money wasn't going to be able to satisfy like my dreams, right? Or the life that I wanted to live. So I picked up a book. It was called Rich Dad, Poor Dad. It's pretty much like every finance person's like Bible, I guess you can call it.
That's right, because I always talk about that book only when, like, it's been like 3rd or 4th video.
Oh yeah.
On my channel that I talked about that book.
Yeah.
And people always like, which book is that? Which book is that? I will put a link down there. Go check it out. And then what book that book told you and how that book changed you.
Yeah, so obviously all of us, or majority of people, when they're going through life, the initial thought is like, I need to go work a job. And that is the only way of like earning a living. And with the better job you have, the higher income you produce, and sort of like kind of primes you that it's the only way.
Okay, so let's say you finished that book and how you got into the job first. So where you worked and what was the company and why you left.
Yeah.
Explain.
So then I read that book and basically I started to look into like what are some of the high income paying jobs that you can get, and it talked about sales. So I was like, okay, well maybe I can start off by like selling some phones and see how that goes. And so I got a job at TELUS, and at TELUS I was basically just a sales rep, and I started to do really well. And I realized that like, okay, well I started to make more money than at any other job that I had for less hours.
Oh,
right?
Because
so
it's a pay plus commission, I believe?
Yes, so
right?
there's hourly plus commission. So I was like, okay, so I'm working less, I'm making more money. I think sales is probably where I want to be at. While I was working at TELUS, I was also working on my first deal. And I won't go into too many details, but in short, TELUS was like the catalyst to like really getting into like real estate and understanding it a lot more and dealing with people and stuff.
Okay, so when did you think like, okay, I'm not gonna do TELUS and I'm gonna do the real estate only?
Yeah, so I basically, while I was working at TELUS, I was doing my first deal, like I just mentioned. It was a duplex. while I was renovating it, I was thinking like, man, I don't want this to be the last deal I do for the next 5 years. I met with like a local kind of local mentor,
okay.
right? A local coach. That person, his name is Manjit Rukra. He's from Prosper Path, and like that's his teaching, his school. And basically he showed me how to raise capital. What happened was, I remember this pretty vividly because it was basically early 2021 at this point, and at the latter of 2020, I took I spent some time with another person in Winnipeg who was doing a lot of wholesaling and assignments. It wasn't until like February of last year where I had a deal under contract. I had put the responsibility of some of my partners to run the showing for the house. And that deal almost fell apart completely. Basically what happened is I was able to salvage the deal and everything was okay. And I ended up making like $8,000 on the
single deal, okay.
That's when I realized like, okay, I think I need to be paying a little bit more attention to that part of my business. In June of last year, that's when I actually left TELUS and I was like, okay, I'm gonna go in full-time into real estate.
June 2020?
June 2021.
2021,
Yeah.
okay, all right. So a lot of people don't know about wholesaling and what are the other real estate things that you can do, okay? So explain like a little bit what is wholesaling, what is BRRRR, how do you flip houses? So जिनको नहीं पता उनको बोलूँगा कि आपको थोड़ा सा explain करके बता दे little bit कि क्या चीजें हैं ताकि बिल्कुल नया concept ना हो, right? Wholesaling, who haven't heard don't know what it is. So what's wholesaling? Dan, first of all.
So essentially what wholesaling is basically where you have your own marketing going. Like say for example, you're dropping off, there's several different ways where you can find deals in the market that aren't necessarily on the MLS.
Okay.
What you do is you can be just networking with people and you somehow find someone who knows someone who's selling a house. And what you do is you go to see that seller, you negotiate a price. Then if they agree to the price, you sign the contract and you kind of go through all of the things that the contract involves. And then you find an investor buyer who is willing to own the rights of the contract.
Okay.
And you
forward that contract.
Yes, you forward that contract to them, and oftentimes, most times, or it should be every time.
Every time.
Yeah, you get paid for that. And that transaction is typically done in the thousands of dollars. Like I've done assignments where there are 37,000, there's 20,000, there's 15,000, there's like 2,000, you know? So it really depends on like how good the deal is and sort of your ability to analyze it.
A lot of people do wholesaling. So wholesaling basically है कि जैसे हमने कोई घर बेच रहा है, I'm explaining them in Hindi as well. So कोई घर बेच रहा है, हमने उसको बोला हम तेरा घर $1 lakh, we'll pay $1 lakh for your house, let's say, and we'll do the contract to the buyer in 120, let's say. So the 20 grand in between is ours, right? That is wholesaling.
Yeah.
Okay. The next thing he did was BRRRR.
Yes.
So what is BRRRR?
So a BRRRR is basically where you buy a property that needs some sort of renovations.
Okay.
Typically when I'm looking at properties, I'm looking, first thing is like, is the kitchen updated? Is the bathroom updated? What do the mechanicals look like? You know, I'm looking for a property that is in some sort of distress, and we typically can buy those properties at a discount.
Okay.
Okay. And once we purchase the property, we renovate it to the standard that it needs to be at, so that when an appraiser comes in, so the bank, to evaluate the new value of the home, because obviously if you're buying a house and you're getting people to renovate it, it's going to be more expensive than what you bought it for, right? It's going to be worth more. And then what you do is you get the banker comes in and they say your home is now worth X.
Let's put the figures in. So let's say you bought the home for $1 lakh. So buy. B means buy, okay?
Yeah.
R means renovate,
Yes.
right? So we renovated for 20K. So let's say we put 20K in. So now it's 120K in that we put in, right?
Yeah.
Now appraiser comes in. So appraiser who don't know, like appraiser is the person who will tell you that this house is now worth this much in the market.
Yeah.
So let's say we got it for 120. Okay, so now the appraiser says it's 150.
Or maybe even 200,000.
Okay.
Let's just say, let's make it a really, really good deal.
Okay.
So then the appraiser goes, okay, Denzel, your house is now worth 200,000. And what happens then is it depends on sort of what bank you are banking with, because banks give loans on mortgages at different loans to value. I don't know, for those of you who don't know, basically the loan to value is the percentage of money that they will give you based on the value of your home. loan to value.
Okay, got it. Yeah.
And basically, so in this case, my bank offers 80% loan to value. So if you do the math, 200,000 and 80% of that is 160,000.
Yeah.
And so what happens is you take the 160,000 and that 160,000 you pay back the purchase of $100,000, and then you also pay back the renovation money that you've spent. So then now you're fully paid back to wherever that money came from, and then you're left with $40,000 over tax free.
And the equity is still yours.
And the equity in the home is still yours. Yeah.
Okay, so that's how BRRRR works. Like we purchased the house for 100K, put 20K, then हमने पैसा refinance करवा के 160 निकाल लिया. Then after everything has been paid, we are still with 40K, and let's assume you took that 120K from someone, right?
Yeah.
So you paid that person, even with the interest, you're good with like 30-35K without even putting your single money in, right?
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
Okay, so that's BRRRR. Let's just add flipping to it. So let's say we didn't refinance it, we sold it for 200K.
Yeah.
So we got 80K out of it.
Yes, exactly. So
that's flipping.
Yeah. So BRRRRs and flips are pretty much interchangeable.
Okay.
You know, you can get into a house, and typically your two exit strategies is you're going to refinance it or you're going to flip it, right? Unless you're able to, you know, demo it and build new, that is another strategy.
Yeah.
But like basically those are the two most common kind of exits.
And in BRRRR, after a refinancing, you rent it out, right?
Yes.
And whatever you get from rent, you'll pay the mortgage.
Yes.
That's right?
Yeah.
Okay, so मतलब जो loan लिया हुआ हमने bank से, that is also being paid. Let's say the house is rented for $1,300 and our loan is for $1,000. So you're also getting $300 of cash flow, right?
Yes, exactly.
So cash flow and the money and the equity. So all three is in your pocket if you know how to do that stuff. So you were mainly into BRRRRs or wholesaling. What was you interested about and what you did most of the time?
For last year, I was really focused on building my portfolio because I obviously had like bigger goals or at least like a long-term outlook on like where I want to be. And my thought process was like, if I can build a portfolio where I can kind of fall back on for whatever reason that I need to, I have a foundation, right? So that's why I went really hard last year and I bought 21 properties, and now I'm holding them all. And that's because, again, just if I ever get into flipping or anything like that, I have like wealth that's sort of building in the background.
That's right. So that's all the equity that you're having all over the years, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, that's nice. Last question, Denzel. Why real estate?
Well, so going back to that book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, they basically talk about three different things. There's the stock market, there's owning a business, and then there's real estate. Stocks seemed like it just wasn't for me. And at the time, like I didn't really see owning a business that wasn't real estate, something that I would want to get into. And I chose real estate because I just really like the idea of the way that it grows.
Yeah.
Because you get the appreciation from the market and you get the cash flow from the rent.
And your equity is building at the back.
Yeah, and it's just, there's just so many things that are going for it. And real estate has been an industry that will always be around no matter what. You know, like there's always going to be people that need places to stay. Basically, in short, I just was looking at it and there was just so many reasons why I should be doing it.
Okay.
Yeah.
And a tip for new beginners. So let's say I am totally new to this. You know that I know a bit of it, like I learned a bit of it, but not I applied into the real market. How I know that the real thing is too different from the thing that we know, like how it's gonna be like. Let's say we did the BRRRR in 2 minutes, right?
Yeah.
But it takes a lot of efforts, a lot of things. So what will you suggest the new people who are planning to get into the real estate? What are the 3 pieces of advice that you'll give to them?
Okay, so one, if you aren't very familiar with finance terminology and understanding how the banks work, I would highly recommend that you pick up some books and you learn on that. See if you can just get connected to people who have done what you're trying to do. So someone like myself, right? You reach out to me or whomever is in your local area.
That's right.
And then the last piece is really get ready and start building like the right mindset, because real estate investing is not easy. Like it's like we're talking about it right now and it sounds really like attractive and easy to do, but the reality is like being a landlord, being a business owner, like it all takes a level of resiliency, because things aren't always going to be perfect.
Yeah.
Very rarely are they. So just to make sure that you're kind of developing your mindset.
Yeah. Okay, that was very helpful. And Dan's Instagram link is in the description. If you are into real estate, definitely check the link. I hope ये थोड़ी सी video आपको like this was an introduction. This wasn't very much into everything, but it is, you can make money this way as well, right?
Yeah.
So I'll ask Dan if you liked it. Definitely let me know and Dan know, and then we will make another video detailing, you know, how it is. So अगर आपको video अच्छी लगी, like कर देना, subscribe कर देना चैनल को, follow him on Instagram. And I am also suggesting him to make a YouTube channel. So let me know. ये था आज के लिए. Like the video. Like him is 5,000 likes. I know you guys will do it. Take care. Bye bye guys, and see you in the next video.
See you.